So taking a look at some inequalities, and so we got a couple different notations here. So you probably come across these different places and just kind of like identifying and being able to be comfortable with this. And that's the beauty of like the internet, or if you have a good textbook that you have like throughout your college career that you keep kind of on the shelf, you can always reference this stuff. But honestly, I sometimes I say to myself, oh, you should just like go and like get a good book, keep that good book, and just reference it. When it's so easy to type in what is set builder notation versus interval notation. But here we go, kind of talking about it like all in one spot. So if we have an open interval, in that case, that means that basically we don't include A or B. So in this particular case, we go from A to B, but we're not actually touching A and B. So it's an open interval. The way that you read that as set builder notation is this is basically says the set of all x's, right? So that's up to that set. So the set, so that's the brackets, the set of all x's. And then this little bar right here is such as. So the set of all x's such that x is greater than A, but not equal to A, and x is less than B, but not equal to B. And that's going to be considered an open interval. We go to a closed interval. We use brackets instead of parentheses, so brackets on the graph. Read very similar. Excuse me. The set of all x's such that A, let's go the other way around. I like to read it from the middle. X is greater than or equal to A, and x is less than or equal to B. Then we have half open intervals. That means that on one side is closed. That means the square bracket. On the other side, it's open. So once again, you can identify the open brackets and the closed bracket. Once again, this is read as the set of all x's such that x is greater than or equal to A, but x is less than B, and so forth. We have something called a disjoint set, and then we have, all right, so let's go apply that. So the thing about taking away this is like some language, right? So it's like if we have x greater than 4, so that means that it's greater than 4. It doesn't include 4, so it's like 5, 6, 7, 8. So like in this case right here, possible solutions would be starting at like, I mean, honestly, it could be, if we're doing decimals, it could be 4.1, right? So it's anything bigger. It could be 5, 6, 7, dot, dot, dot. All right, if it's less than negative 12, so it's not equal to negative 12, so that means it could be negative 13, negative 14, negative 15. All right, the last one. In this case here, one way of saying that is at least. So it's at least that amount. So it could be 6, it could be 7, it could be 8, etc., etc., or at most. So the most it could be is 8. So it could start at 8, but then it would go 7, 6, 5, etc. So that's just some language. Let's do some applications with that. So we have a scenario here. I'm going to clear that off. We have a scenario. Please feel free to hit pause. Try it on your own. This one is worked out right here. Suppose that you're about to take your 4th test. Your previous scores, each out of 100, are, so we grab our pen and we say our previous scores are 86 plus 88 plus 78. All right. And then we have plus 4. Where did the plus 4 come from? Let me hit pause and figure that out. All right. So what I've done from this problem right here is I've gone and taken and looked at agency A and found out that they want to charge $28. That's a flat rate. But on top of that $28, they're going to get a 25 cents per mile. So our formula for A is going to be, I have my flat rate, which I started with, plus the values that I'm learning right now, and that would be my equation for agency A. I do something similar for agency B, and so in that particular case, I find out here the agency B has a 32 flat rate, but they only charge $15 per mile. That's pretty fair. So the question is when are these two things going to find or be exactly the same, right? It says, I don't know how many miles will the deal with agent B be a better offer, B's offers be better than agency A. So in that case right there, what we're essentially saying is we're saying that we want to know when A is going to be greater than B, right? So that will tell us when what happens is that A is gone outside the realm. So we have 28.25. Oops, sorry about that. Damn, I can't undo that. All right, I'm just going to go back and rewrite that. So agency A is 28 plus 0.25x. Agency B is 32 plus 0.15x. So what I'm looking for is to find out when, how many miles will the agency, after how many miles will the deal with agency B's offer to be better than agency A. So we're looking for when will B be greater than A. All right, so you guys already showed me that you had that situation here with your equations. And so we're going to go and plug that in. So 28 plus 0.25x is greater than 32 plus 0.15x. So now it's just a basic equation that we need to solve. So quickly recall that when we're solving the equations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, that we're going to get rid of these two things first. So we're trying to solve that stuff, simplify it, and whatever. So in this case right here, I'm going to go ahead and move the 28 over here. Those cancel. So I get 0.25x is less than 32. I divide both sides by my 0.25. So I got a little bit sloppy there. Those cancel. I get x is equal to, and I'm sorry, not equal to, excuse me. X is less than, and I take 32 and divide it by 0.25, and I come out with 128. That's my final answer. Okay, so how many miles? It will be 128. All right. So then there's some additional problems, but I think that gets you the idea. You can go ahead and practice those on your homework. You got 43 and 45 in your homework. Hopefully these videos will help you through the course, the content, and I will get everything up and posted. Thanks.